So today the meditation is going to be a real treat. It's super powerful, and looking at the singing bowl, maybe some of you can guess, it is the Heart Chakra meditation. And it kind of comes to a full circle because these last few weeks we've been discussing about the heart math, the energy field around our heart. We've been talking about how to keep our heart open. We've been discussing about how our ancient traditions have given so much value to the power and intelligence of our heart. They've always talked about how the heart space can bring solace and wonder, and it's almost like a psychic bridge, if you will, between heaven and earth. So it is that powerful. And in all our meditations, the heart space is baked in the meditation techniques. So whenever you breathe in, when you do the body scan, when you do the mindfulness breath, you do bring your awareness to your heart. So heart has been given a very powerful role in all our ancient traditions and also in meditation. In yoga, there are so many asanas that are about opening the heart. If you know Namaste, so there are two ways that people do Namaste. One is you bring your thumbs here to the heart center. And then the other is to the eye, the third eye I meant, so this way. These ancient traditions always brought the heart space, the importance of the heart space in our meditation. So we always knew that. Science, a little behind. So whatever these ancient traditions preserved, science now is finding out eventually. So recently we were talking about it a few weeks back, that the scientific community just recently in 1991 actually started to discover that the heart has its own neural network. It has around 40,000 specialized cells. This neural network processes information, memory, emotions, all by itself. And it is separate from the brain. So it has its own nervous system, if you will. Before that, we didn't even know. The scientific community did not know. But our ancient traditions always knew that. So the ancient traditions have always sort of preserved these practices. They didn't worry so much as the nuts and bolts of, what are we doing? But they said, let's go and apply it. And then when we apply it, we're going to experience it. Science, of course, says, let's find out the nuts and bolts and how it works. And so we stand tall on the shoulders of science and spirituality. That's the fun part. We can use both of them and stay open to this whole whatever we do here. So let's talk a little bit about what we have found out through the scientific community about the heart. And all of this is very relevant information, by the way, guys, because when you start to do the heart chakra meditation, you should know what you're meditating on. You're going to be focusing on your heart. So it's a great idea to understand this information that I'm sharing. And then if you have something to share, that would be wonderful as well. In 1991, science discovered the heart has its own neural network, and it processes information. It processes information, however, differently. It doesn't process information through the regular, senses. That's how the brain does it. The heart has its own network. Apparently, and they're still trying to figure out, it processes information through intuition. It gathers information because, like I said, it is your psychic bridge between your higher mind and yourself. So that is why it is so important to keep your heart open, because if you want to really live fully, then you want to keep your heart open. And we'll discuss a little bit about how to keep the heart open as well. So back to what the scientific community has discovered about the heart. The second thing we found out, apart from the neural network it has, the second thing is that the heart has a strong and a powerful electromagnetic field around it. In fact, the energy goes several feet beyond your body. And perhaps that's why it processes and catches information. and processes it so differently. Also, we all know that the heart produces and releases two hormones. One is a peptide, A and P, I think. Don't quote me. But there is a peptide. And then the other is oxytocin. You commonly call them as love hormones. So what do these love hormones do? Remember when you were in love? All of us remember. I can see the smile. You know, the love hormone changes your body physically and emotionally and mentally. You completely change. You're like a new person. Everything is something to rejoice. You have a spring in your step. If you have a wound, notice when you're in love, you actually heal instantly. Your body heals quicker when you're in love, when you feel the love emotion. Your immune system is so strong. You manage stress better. Emotional stress doesn't come close to you for long. So there are amazing powers of this love hormone. So you see how powerful the heart center is? So that's the hormone point that we found out. The third is very critical again, and we were discussing a few weeks back. The Heart Math Institute found out about the HRV component of the heart. What is HRV? It is a heart rate variability, which means the variation of the heart rate between the intervals of every heartbeat. So there is this heartbeat and there is this heartbeat, and the variation of the heartbeat, the variation of the interval. Apparently, the longer or the higher your heart rate variability, the better it is. So that means if there is a flight and fight response that you're activating some stressful situation, you're able to bring it down quickly. So the higher your HRV, the better it is. And you actually achieve that in meditation all the time. I mean, that's a given. In 10 minutes, your HRV is very regulated. And you're doing wonderful things to your body. So that was the HRV part. So the hormone, the HRV, the neural network, the electromagnetic field. So we know so much about the heart. Of course, it pumps blood as well. Let's not forget that. It's a life. I mean, we would be lifeless without it. But the ancient traditions have always thought of this place as a place of solace, as a place of wonder, a place where we can feel those expansive emotions of joy, of compassion, of love, and all of that. The chakra meditations. The heart is the fourth chakra in the 7 chakra lineup that we have in our body, right? And the heart chakra is actually a psychic bridge which moves us away from our grounding chakras, the lower chakras, and takes us to the lofty levels. It's really the grounding place. It's really the bridge between heaven and earth. So if you really want to get ahead in your spiritual growth, then you have to open your heart, or you should know how to keep it open. We all know how to open our heart, but keeping it open, letting it stay open is the key. And the more you practice the heart chakra meditation, you will keep your heart center activated. You can practice it in your life and how to keep it activated as well. The heart chakra is supposedly, it's like a green, shimmering green light. That's the energy center. And it activates actually the fastest. If you think about someone you love, it starts to open and blossom. In Sanskrit, it is called the Anahata chakra. Anahata in Sanskrit means something that can never be beaten, something that can never be struck. That's what it means. So remember, green and light, Sanskrit name is Anahata. It's right in the center of your chest. It activates very quickly. All you have to think about someone you love or a memory of love, or gratitude, by the way. Gratitude and love are the same frequency, and you start vibrating in a higher frequency the minute your heart chakra is open, and it activates really quickly. So what are the practical ways to apply all of this in our day-to-day life, and then we'll start. So the first is you practice Heart Chakra meditation, of course, in your meditation. So you're activating it. Now let's say you get up in your non-meditative time. How do you keep your heart open? It's difficult, right? Because the minute you have a negative emotion, the heart starts to close. It's like a beautiful flower. It starts to close. You feel disappointment. You feel hate. You feel a sense of dislike. You feel a judgment coming on. It starts to close. It's very delicate and strong at the same time. So what you have to do, because we are all humans and we're work in progress, what you have to do is you have to jump out of that emotion quickly. That's the practical technique that I'm giving you all. Don't stay in that emotion. Get out of it as soon as you can. Because the more you keep your heart open, you will realize how absolutely simple your life starts to become. And you start to attract the right people, the right situations. A lot of synchronicities start to appear in your life because you're vibrating in a higher energy level. So things start to shift for you remarkably. I promise you, there's a huge shift that happens when you open your heart. So remember, that's a good way to practice to keep your heart open. And then also we talked about the 3 F's technique and how to bring the heart coherence. See, everybody talks about the brain coherence, which is important. You want to have complete clarity of your thinking, and you want your thinking to be aligned with your goals, and that's brain coherence. Heart coherence also works something like that, but in a different, more intuitive way. So how do you get to be a heart coherent person? Number 1, you jump out of a negative emotion quickly. Number 2, if you see yourself in a stressful situation or you're feeling stressed for some reason, you do 3 things. You focus on your heart and then start to breathe in and out of your heart. Okay? So breathe in your heart and breathe out of your heart. Channel your breath into your heart and out of your heart. And the third thing is you remind yourself of what you're grateful for. In my opinion, gratitude works faster, but I know they're the same level, gratitude and love, but I'm easily able to recall what I'm grateful for. I mean, even if I just did my groceries, the person who bagged my groceries. So there's so much around us that we can constantly be grateful for. And that's something we should start doing anyways, because we say thanks, but it's such a dismissive way. But if we could just look into the eyes of the person and really say thanks, that's gratitude. So again, the technique is breathe in and out of your heart, okay? And then think of something that you're grateful for, and you will start to reach that heart coherence. And it's amazing. The heart coherence carries you with you for the next 6 to 8 hours. And it does amazing, wonderful things for your healing, for your health, your physical and mental health. Now, the last thing that I want to quickly mention is about meditation in general. I want you all to really get the whole structure of the meditation. We call it the induction process when we focus on our breath. That is the induction process. We go through an induction process. So what does this induction process really do to us? There is a scientific theory about it, but I'll just tell you. You start to close your analytical mind as much. You move away from your beta consciousness. Your quick thinking brain starts to slow down, and you focus on your breath. And now you become more suggestible. You're open to suggestion. And so if your meditation, and you should be able to trust your meditation guide, that's very important, because my words literally become your words. And I'm so honored that you all trust me. And like I said last week, I take it very seriously, this responsibility. So my words start to become your words. You become suggestible, because your subconscious mind starts to open up. Your heart starts to open up. And so now you're receiving all these messages that I'm saying, starting to apply them. And then you start to experience the beauty of that concept. So that's how this meditation actually works. And then I hope you embody it in your life. Don't just get up from your practice and then it's over. I mean, I promise you, I do this too every day. Whatever I tell you, I actually do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be telling you because I haven't tried it. How can I just say it? So then after the meditation, I want you to practice keeping your heart open and remember all these techniques that we just discussed. Okay? The way we are going to meditate today is I will guide you into the meditation. I will talk about a little bit about the concepts in a very suggestible way in the meditation, and then I'll leave you on your own. When I leave you on your own, I don't want you to keep forgetting what you're doing. You have to keep your intention of love very strong, and you have to keep your focus on your heart. So that's the intention we're going to work on. Think of a situation or a moment when you felt deeply immersed in love. All right? And I'll give you guys a couple minutes because really think of it hard and deep. And because you're going to keep recalling that emotion. And anytime you start to flail, it starts to wander somewhere else, then you bring yourself back to that emotion. Because you're going to learn how to maintain that emotion for the next 45 minutes. And it's not easy because the mind is going to bring you all kinds of thoughts and then you discard them and then you come back to that love emotion. And then during the day, you get to practice it with your family, your friends, with the strangers, with each other, right? And so we're going to do that today.